Everybody grab a seat, okay? And we got plenty of napkins, so bring your food in here. Mr. Tillman's going to be recording everything tonight for Facebook. So I always say this, ladies, watch your language, but I think the men better watch their language too. Okay? Everybody come in. I'm going to welcome everyone. And we got technical assistants working.
I think so.
I don't want to think. Okay. All right. Let's see what we're going to get. We have a terrific program this evening. First of all, we're going to be initiating our Christmas season, and then we have the installation of officers, and we're going to turn everything over to our new president-elect and president at the time. So let's start our meeting this evening, and let's stand and let's have, where is Darrell? Commissioner Hale, will you come up and do the Pledge of Allegiance?
Shouldn't the invocation be first?
I always do the invocation after the pledge. Do you think I got it wrong?
Yeah.
We do?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, you know, what is a good?
Always God first.
What is a good? Okay, always God first.
Amen. Amen.
Fred, will you please lead the invocation? Yes.
I'm a substitute tonight for good mayor from Wiley, but I'm
Eric Pope.
Eric Pope, I hope I can do that. Well, join me in prayer. Heavenly Father, thank you for this day, Lord. Thank you for the South. Thank you that things are as well as they are. But thank you for the opportunity for us to gather and come together in this meeting and serve this community and serve this country. We pray that you will be with us, Lord, and be with all those that are elected officials and serving, and those that support all the elected officials and all of those that serve. And keep us in your care, love. And pray, Father, for our country. These are our country, those on the battlefield war, and watch over them. Keep us all in your care, Father. And as we serve others, we serve you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
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 Amen. Thank you very much. Commissioner Hale, will you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Yeah, please join me in the pledge to the flag of our republic. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Mike Vance, will you come forward, sir, and lead us in the Texas pledge?
Y'all would follow the pledge to the greatest state's flag in the world.
You're here.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Please have a seat. Okay, let's have a quiz. Who are we? We're the Collin County Republican Men's Club. Jerry Madden, how old are we? 52 years old?
52, yeah.
52 years old. And what is our objective and purpose and mission? Is for men and women in Collin County join together, learn together, and work together for the Collin County Republican Party. And it has been my pleasure to be the president the last 2 years, and my wife and I are both glad this month is here. Okay, so with that, we have a special program, and we'll lead off with the installation of officers. So Judge Mark Rush, I saw him here. Will you come up, sir, and have the all the officers that were elected to the post? Will you come forward? Ravi, come on up. John Myers, David Nidicorn. It's Wendell Brock. I know he's here.
How are you doing?
Okay. Eric. Delar. Steve Howell, is he still in traffic? Steve's on his way. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and have the directors. So let's get, Bortsfield's not here. Neil Katz. Neil?
He's talking to Abraham Lincoln.
I think he's on the phone.
No, he's not going to be. He's on the phone.
Yeah, he's
Okay, Mark Rutledge. And myself. Judge, let me get in line and you take over.
Okay.
Did I miss anyone? Treasurer. Our treasurer. Don't say average, say average.
Gentlemen, as the newly elected officers of the Collin County Republican Men's Club, you are assuming the responsibility of representative offices and accepting leadership roles among all of the Republicans in the county, you are taking an oath for setting a good example that one requires dedication, service, and devotion to the broad Republican Party principles. And accepting, I hate my phone.
I accept that.
Old eye. In accepting your respective positions, you are promising to discharge all the assigned CCRMC duties to the best of your abilities, and that you shall exert every possible effort in electing traditional conservative men and women to the Republican Party. Therefore, I ask each of you, raise your right hands for me and repeat after me. I solemnly swear
I solemnly swear
to live up to the provisions
to live up to the provisions
of the governing bylaws of the Collin County Republican Men's Club,
of the governing bylaws of the Collin County Republican Men's Club,
and to discharge all duties incumbent to my office
and to discharge all duties incumbent to my office
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations, gentlemen.
If you guys can stand up, can I get a picture?
They need another picture, Navarro.
How you doing? Good, yourself?
Okay.
All right, ready?
Cheers.
Cheers. All right, you have like 5 seconds.
All right.
One should be good.
Okay. Now, do you want to say a few words? Huh?
You turn it over.
Okay. It is a great honor to give you this.
Thank you.
I trust you, bud.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you very much.
I was looking for AMAC. Supposed to be your guy.
I think on behalf of our incoming officer, first of all, I want to thank Honorable Judge Mark Rush for administering all this oath to us. Have had tremendous work on the bench for the last 24 years, and he's retiring, and we feel like a special honor that at the last year of his duties, he's giving us this oath. And he's so popular, so good work, that he has as many as 3 Republicans trying to fight for his office. It's a big honor. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Okay. I want to thank this club for drafting me for being the president for next year. 9 years ago, when I joined this club, I really wasn't thinking of ever being president of any executive committee. I just wanted to be here, good Republican, do some work and learn from it. But I really feel honored that you put faith in me and appointing me, or electing me for this office. Now, it's hard work. I watched Richard Dawson going through a lot of work, a lot of meetings, staying on the phone. I know it's hard work. And I'll try my best to exemplify his work, or maybe hopefully with the support of our committee, we're going to have to challenge him and beat his, with more members here than we ever had before. It's hard work, I know. And I've been telling my wife for the last 4 or 5 days, I don't know why this guy selected me or selected me. You know, I'm just like one Jain. I believe in Jainism. Among all these Christians, few Jews, and few my African American, what am I going to do? I'm just a lone star. Don't you worry, they have faith in you. I said, what do you mean you have faith? He said, you apparently share something with them. I said, what do we share, you know? Don't you worry, you share something with them. I said, tell me what you share. She said, don't you share your birthday with
Pope Francis. So yes, we got it. So that's the reason, and I think I had to work hard not to let Pope Francis name down. We're going to do our backs, and I hope we can count down our rest of the committee. Okay. Now we're going to do a few minor changes next year as we proceed to start monthly meetings, but we're going to have as open and transparent meeting as we ever had before. We like everybody to participate. Please bring the new ideas. We're going to discuss at our executive committee and bring the new ideas and run this club a little bit different than we had in the past, but still within the bylaws of our clubs. As far as our special things for next year, we're going to be doing Lincoln Day dinner. We're going to participate in Lincoln Day dinner and 4th of July. And we need to really start working on Lincoln Day dinner now, and we plan on having at least 2, maybe 3 tables. And hopefully several members with buying VIP tickets to support the County Republican Party. Now, there is a myth in the county, or a reality, I do not know, but there's a word around that Richard Bin is a big founder of this club, 52 years. And there's a myth that he never became president till 2 years ago. Is that right? Is it a myth or is it reality?
It's a myth.
He wasn't here then.
Well, he's worked hard, and we're going to take his example and going to retire him, not going to give him any responsibility next year, so he can rest. Except for something he started, Wheel of Fortune. Every meeting, we're going to let him run the Wheel of Fortune, and he's going to bring his own Vanna White.
There you go.
And I hope his beautiful bride will support him and come with him to his Vanna White. Now we have Christmas around the world. Iran, Italy, India, and China.
No, not China, Taiwan.
Taiwan. Well, actually, it's just like I will just remove the bottom from the I, it becomes T, Taiwan. Yeah. Iran, Italy, India, and Taiwan. So the first one is Iran. Fred?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Let's turn off, David, will you turn off that light up on the screen? The front row, way in the back.
Well, as you all know, Iran is a Muslim country, and I was born in Iran. There are a few small minority group, Armenian, Christian, Assyrian, which I am Assyrian, and Jewish, and Zoroastrian. These are the minority, they are not Muslim. And the rest, majority, are about 97% of them are Muslim. And we celebrate Christmas and Easter, little bit Easter differently than here, but the Christmas, it's almost the same like in US and Europe. We have Christmas tree. We used to put Christmas tree just like here, and that wherever Christmas was, any day of the week, we went to church. There was big time mass, and as I said, I'm Assyrian. Assyrian, they have Catholic, Protestant, which is the Presbyterian Church, Orthodox. The Orthodox has been there since a long time, and Assembly of God. These 4 Christian different denominations in Iran, but there are not too many of them, especially, I think right now there are not too many of them. anyhow, we used to go to church on Christmas Day and put the trees and celebrate. They have a custom. Let's say if it was village, small village, everybody walked, elder of each house. They walked, knock on the door, shook hands, and said Merry Christmas. They walked to the other house. That was a village. You know, my village was 33 houses in it. So it wasn't that bad. But in cities, when we moved in big time city, churches, they divide the city in 4 or 5 different parts. And certain days, couple days, neighborhood A, everybody, whoever had relatives, friends, they went to that area to visit. That's a custom. They gotta go say Merry Christmas and shake hands and eat something. Then after 2 days, another area that they have designated. Everybody knows. So that area people, they stay home and wait for their friends or relatives to come, you know, say Merry Christmas or Easter. And in Iran, mostly Easter, they celebrated more than Christmas. It was, I mean, big time. I don't know why, but that's the way it was. Otherwise, the rest are the same as whatever we do here. Do you all have any questions? And I think still they do. I haven't been there past 40 years. My sister, she's there, still they go to church. And, you know, they just, like before, whatever they did, we did, and continue. They won't interfere with their church.
The Fred, y'all celebrated Christmas and Easter, but in Christmas, did you have Santa Claus? Did you have reindeers?
Well, not.
Did you have that?
Santa Claus, it wasn't, but the Christmas tree, we had the Christmas tree.
Christmas tree?
Yeah, Christmas.
Okay.
And Santa, as you know, I was too young, I didn't see Santa Claus, but I don't know if certain area probably they did have. You know, we have, the Christians are part of, not all over Iran, and they're in 2, 3 different cities, and that's all. But I don't remember seeing Santa Claus, but. Yes, sir.
Well, I don't have a question, but I just want those that don't know Fred Nasri to know a little bit about who Fred is. Fred is married to Janice. He and Janice are 2 of the kindest, most down-to-earth people. Fred Nasri has individually put out more than 12,000 signs over the years, 4x4, 4x6. And we owe you, Fred, and your wife Janice so much. Thank you.
That's my pleasure. I'm very happy to be Republican. That's what I want to do, and I'm proud to do it. That's no, I never forget it. The day, you know, it was late 70s. Governor at that time, Governor Reagan, and he was debating President Carter. And after they finished, I asked my wife, you know, I was just new at that time. I said, who is he? She said, he's Republican from California. I said, I am Republican. I like what he said. I've been Republican since then, and I'm proud.
Very good.
So that's it.
Thank you. Mark?
Well, I've been asked to present on Christmas in Italy. Until I'm probably not Italian. In fact, I'm a typical high 57 American. I think I'm mostly Irish and German. Which makes me very disciplined about my drinking and fighting. But that's another story. So I'm a little bit of an Italophile. I don't know if you're familiar with that term. Anglophile, Francophile, Italophile. I've happily volunteered to give this segment. Go ahead. So a little bit of background on Christmas in Italy, because the history of Italy is the history of Rome. The history of Rome is Roman Catholicism. So a lot of Italy's Christmas observances are really kind of Catholic and Christian rooted, even though they're celebrated kind of in a secular manner, because Italy's not really a very religious country anymore. But the traditions of Christmas are rooted in Christianity. And if you look at the whole timeline of Christmas, I mean, at the timeline of Italy, they coincide. I mean, Palestine, where Jerusalem is, Bethlehem, Nazareth, it was in a Roman province of Judea. And then the Roman Empire, depending on who you talk to, Professor, never really fell. It just morphed into different things. It became the Roman Empire, then it became part of the Byzantine Empire, then it became the Holy Roman Empire, which history says is neither holy nor Roman. It may not have been an empire. And then it became the Papal States, both church and secular authority. And then in 1861, in the same month that President Lincoln was inaugurated, the Kingdom of Italy was established. And finally it became Italy. And then after World War II in 1946, the monarchy was abolished and it became a republic. But the point of all that is that from the year 0, okay, I mean, some people will say Christ was born in 4 AD, 2 BC, whatever, it doesn't matter. From the beginning until now, being Christian now, Rome and Italy have been one nation. So let's see how Christmas kind of evolved over that 2020-year time frame. So the development of Christmas practices in Italy. Let's say Rome for now, because it was the Roman Empire. The Christians in Rome, in the area, began celebrating Christmas as a feast by 354 AD. That's when we first can look at records and see talking about Christmas. The celebration really began in Mesopotamia and Egypt, when Christian communities there would celebrate the Epiphany. And they're what they would call astrologers at the time, all set the date for the Epiphany of January 6th. If you don't know what Epiphany is, that's when the heavenly hosts appeared to the shepherds and announced that the Savior was born. Okay, so that was the big day, the big event to the early Christians. Not so much when Christ was born, but when it was announced by divine intervention. So all these feasts of the Epiphany started popping up in the 2nd century AD, and those kind of bled into Rome. And they also knew from the scriptures that the Christ's birthday was 12 days before the Epiphany, so December 25th must be Christ's birthday. So it began as a very minor feast. Maybe they had chicken that day. So by 354 AD, there was this feast called Christmas. Okay. Well, you probably hear now and then about how the pagans celebrated the winter solstice, Saturnalia, honoring the god Saturn, and how some popes somewhere decided we're going to co-opt that holiday and make it Christmas. That's a vast oversimplification, but there were festivals going on in December to honor the sun, to honor the god Saturn, and they had circus games and parties and all this, and basically the popes and churches got tired of it. So they outlawed the circus games in 425 AD and outlawed a lot of the merriment. So the celebration of the time of year, of course, Christmas took on more of a religious fervor. They established an Advent season in 566, a period of preparation for the feast. The official observance, church observance of the 12 days of Christmas to Epiphany, was instituted around 567. And then by 845 AD, they started actually having special liturgical celebrations, a midnight mass, a dawn mass, and a Christmas mass, which they really didn't have before other than the normal service. So this developed, you can see, already over 8 or 9 centuries. And the first nativity scenes appeared in Rome, first place in the world that appeared in Rome, thanks to St. Francis of Assisi, about 1223 AD. So you can see over time how Christmas is developing, starting in Rome and then spreading to the rest of Europe and the rest of the world. So let's move to how Italy, Rome and Italy celebrate Christmas now. They still observe the customs of Advent, even though a lot of the country is secular. They still have Advent wreaths. They still celebrate these on the same days that are set by the Roman Catholic Church, liturgical calendar. They have, goodies that, that go, that they give to the kids every day. Now, we have Advent calendars you can buy in Target here, right? And they're not really religious oriented. They're just preparation for Christmas, and they're by calendar. They start December 1st and end on December 24th. Well, I don't know if anybody have an Advent calendar in their home. Ours have Hershey's Kisses in it, so every day you get a Hershey's Kiss in it. It's a nice little treat. Now, in America, when does our Christmas season really start? Thanksgiving, right? Or the shopping season starts in July, right? Or something like that. But really, Thanksgiving kind of kicks off the Christmas season, right? In Italy, it starts a little later. The Feast of the Immaculate Conception on December 8th. And even if you don't celebrate that, if you're not religious, they still celebrate the Immaculate Conception. It starts the Christmas season. Hooray. And then they celebrate it all the way through the Epiphany. January 6th. So it is a very long season, just kind of like ours is. There was an old Catholic custom of fasting and abstaining from meat on Christmas Eve to prepare for the Feast of Christmas. Many people still observe that there, even if they're not otherwise practicing Christian faith. And then they'll go to midnight mass, and then they'll come home, and it might be the only mass they went to all year, and have a big feast in the middle of the morning. Or they might wait till Christmas Day. But it's still the primary custom in Italy to exchange gifts on the eve of the Epiphany instead of on Christmas. Now, are there any Orthodox Christians in here? Orthodox faith generally will exchange gifts on Epiphany Day. We have some good friends who are immigrants here from Moscow. They're Russian Orthodox, and we send them their Christmas gift package, January 2nd, on the 5th. It's great, we get all the sales after Christmas. By the Christmas inside their Epiphany gifts. They still call them Christmas gifts, but they open on. And there's another common custom is there's a very popular game, very similar to bingo. They call it tombola. You say that? Tombola. Tombola. Put your hand up. Tombola. There we go. All right. So these are some of the common practices and customs of contemporary Italy. And last word on some of that, there are a lot of American customs that have crept into Italian society. A lot of this was exposure in a big way to American soldiers in the latter parts of World War II and afterwards as they're rebuilding Italy as part of the March effort. One of them was the introduction of Santa Claus. Okay, there's a long-standing Italian tradition of a witch, a good witch, named La Befana, who will go around to all the houses on Epiphany Eve and leave treats and goodies for all the good boys and girls and lumps of coal for the bad boys. And so La Befana, well, actually, if the parents were good, would sweep out the house on the broom that she would ride around. So that is still a tradition honored in the more rural parts of Italy. And both men and women will dress up as this La Befana for the kids and pageants and such. But we also introduced them to Santa Claus, and in Italy it's called Babbo Natale. So it's the same Santa Claus. He's a little thinner and more well-dressed, which you would kind of expect of Italians, than our Santa Claus. But they do have a Babbo Natale who will bring treats to the children on Christmas Eve. And caroling, singing Christmas carols is kind of a more modern thing in Italy. They used to have a thing, and they still do in some areas, called pittorari, which are kids who go around and they recite novenas and such to music. And they are accompanied by, who can guess an instrument that would accompany these kids in Italy? Anybody guess? Bagpipes. Bagpipes have a long tradition in Italy. Not just Scotland.
We're supposed to guess that?
I was thinking like a band. I thought somebody might have.
They use bagpipes.
Yeah. So, go to the last slide here. Of course, we can't talk about Italy without talking about the food. We really don't have a while. Fish is a very big Christmas item on the Italian table. Probably because of the old prohibition of eating meat on Christmas Eve, when they had meats. In Rome, capitone is the most common Christmas feast entree. Now, who knows what capitone is? It's the female eel.
That's gotta be female, huh?
All right. So when you're chopping down that prime rib or turkey Christmas Day, you can eat it. And of course, also Italy. Desserts are plentiful. Pandoro and panettone. Pandoro is pan, bread, doro, gold. It's golden bread. It's a very sweet yeast bread. It's kind of a taste like it's a kind of hexagonal, tall-shaped, very sweet. It's almost like a cake. Often they'll cover it with dust. It'll look like a mountain of Italy. And if you basically you put some candied fruits like oranges, raisins, etc., it becomes a panettone. And you can buy these at World Market. They've been probably 6 months old. They've been full of preservatives, but they're very common in Italy and a lot fresher and more tasty. And one of my personal favorites is frutti di Basco, which is a berry cream torte. Now, someone asked me earlier, because I brought one, and it's back in the dessert section, so I encourage you to sample that. What that literally means is fruit of the underbrush. That sounds appetizing, right? Well, fruit of the underbrush means blackberries, raspberries, boysenberry, different kinds of red currants, berries. So it's a berry cream torte, and a very popular dessert around Christmas time.
Hey, Mark, is the fish is the whole fish or is a fish fillet?
Is it a whole fish?
Mm-hmm.
Generally, the time will have the whole fish. You ever order fish over there? You get the eyes and the tails looking at you while you're trying. I think that's the last slide. One patata, can you say that? One patata.
Abraham George, please, cover India.
Good evening, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
It's an honor for me to stand here today. I do have a PowerPoint. There it is, that's it. It's very short. So before I talk about Christmas in India, I want to talk about Christianity in India. The history is in 1952, in 52, not 1980, 52, one of the apostles, Thomas, came to India and established the Christianity and the church. So India had Christian influence ever since Jesus was, as soon as Jesus departed from the earth. So it was primarily in the state where I was from. If you don't know much about India, almost every state has a different language, different way of doing everything, and different life. And the state called Kerala, which is very bottom, south, that's where the history is, that's where Thomas came to. So can you get to the next slide? So today, Christianity in India is about 2.6% of the entire nation, which is about 1.339 billion people. So we're looking at about 30 to 35 million people is what Christians are in India altogether. Christianity is growing, has grown in the last 150 years or so because of the influence British had in India, because India was a colony of Britain for so many years. And so many missionaries from U.S., UK, Germany, France, and many European nations came to India, and Christianity was established. Today, Christianity is honestly under attack in India because of the religious freedom is getting stricter and stricter on a daily basis. I was born as a pastor's kid, and my grandfather was a preacher as well. So I grew up pretty much in the church, celebrating Christmas every Christian religious celebration festivities that are there. And in the celebration in the Christmas celebration in India is different from the region to region. So in the northern part of India, celebrations involve different types of food versus the southern part, because even though you go to an Indian restaurant here, every Indian restaurant comes with a chicken tikka and naan and everything. I haven't had a chicken tikka and naan until I came to US. Not even once. And I lived in India for 16 years. So it's food is different, and we have common food. I mean, chicken tikka, I love chicken tikka. There's common food in India that are, like rice is almost everywhere. Different types of rice, but rice is almost everywhere. But the influence on India is from Portuguese, from Middle East. So the culture and the food and everything else comes together in India from different countries around the world. And so if you go to the next slide, please. So events in a Christmas day or Christmas season is, one of the biggest is the midnight mass. Almost every church other than Pentecostals have a midnight mass in their church. Even now, Pentecostals have midnight prayer because they don't do masses. So, and the fasting before the Christmas Eve, some people fast for 40 days, some people fast for 21 days, and they come to the Christmas day and they have a huge feast until the Christmas Eve, and they go to church, they take the mass and come back and have a wonderful dinner. So, a lot of things that Indian Christians do on the Christmas season is charitable work, because it is a time for Christians to go out to any place and do charitable work without having to have government asking them something or having permits for something, because it's a Christmas season. Nobody's really going to scrutinize what a church does. It's a Christmas season, so they do that a lot. Christmas caroling is a huge thing. Like Fred said, I believe it started out as small communities where they would go around the houses and talk to each other and wish Merry Christmas, but now it's turned into a caroling is, like in my neighborhood where I grew up, there's like 15 different clubs that would carol into your house all over that week, and they would ask for money and they do charitable work. And Christmas have turned into a time for anybody, even the non-Christians, Hindus, Muslims, people with any religion. India has a ton of religions, so any religious background to work together, help each other out. So it has turned into a very beautiful thing in India in recent years. Special food. One of the biggest things is rum cake. So India and Christmas, especially my state, it's very related with alcohol, a lot of alcohol. I mean, because government of India sells a lot of alcohol because they have their own outlets. And I believe Christmas is one of the top grossing time that they would make a ton of money. Special food like duck curry is very special for Christmas. You can go to the next slide, please. Okay, I'll come to the food in a second. So to answer your question, we do have Santa, and you can see the Santa is usually with a mask because most of the Indians are dark skinned like me. So they put a mask of like a white guy on Santa is a white guy. So you can see that everywhere. Most of the Santa pictures if you Google it. And this is one of the churches close to where I grew up, and they have Christmas plays throughout the season, and that goes for almost every church, like Catholic Church, Orthodox Church, Anglican churches. They all do that, and it's beautiful to see. They do the entire street, about from here to that strip mall, full of setup, and they have acts going on at night, and people come up and cheer. And you can go to the next one, please. So this is some of the churches, how they decorate the church, and this is similar to how you decorate a home, but not as much as this. But this is one of the churches that's very close to my house. And so we can go to the next one. So stars is huge in Christmas decorations. You don't see that in the U.S. In fact, when I first came here, I was looking for stars because that was a big deal in India. So every house, regardless if you're Christian or not, would have at least one star hanging in the front, which is lighted, and they don't have a lot of lights like we do. And I was looking for lights in '96. That's when I came to U.S. And I couldn't find a star that I could buy at any of the holiday stores. I mean, the stars were small because it was supposed to go on top of the tree, right? So the other thing is we don't have Christmas trees like this. And I was surprised to hear, Fred, when you said Iran had. Most of the time, I grew up in a tropical area. It didn't have trees that would, pine trees there. So we would have like mango trees or something that would be decorated with strings of light that would work as a Christmas tree. One more slide, I think that's the last one. So this is some of the food. So that's the rum cake I was talking about. I have a store-bought rum cake. It didn't taste anything like the real one, but definitely you can taste that. The nut curry that I was talking about is on the top. That's a whole nut roasted in spices, and it takes like 12 to 14 hours. They roast it and a lot of alcohol. It's very similar to like sangria type of alcohol wine and mix of brandy and things like that. I think that's it. Is that it? So that's Christmas in India. I want to urge you to pray about Christians in India these days because they do have a lot of trouble there, especially if they're in the rural parts of India. They're in the middle of the city, there's no problem because people understand each other, they're fine, there's no issues. But if they're in the rural parts, they have issues. Yes, sir.
Merry Christmas. Recently that India, they actually passed a bill, Citizenship Exemption Act. So all the Christians living in Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Bangladesh, living in India, they've been given an Indian citizenship, as a Christmas gift.
Yes, and yeah, I do agree to that. It's a very controversial bill. I mean, if you want to learn more about that bill, it's you can just Google it, and Fox News, CNN, everybody's reporting on that. Basically, the idea is just like we have issues from Mexico and Canada and any country, border states or countries, people do move through illegally, and in India and Pakistan had a lot of issues over the years. Everybody in the world knows that. So Indian government recently passed a bill. It's called Citizenship Act, something Act bill. They're called CAB these days. Essentially, what that does is, if you're if you're an Indian citizen, you get an Indian citizenship officially. It made it official. You have a document. What the protest is, people in the border states where if you're not a Hindu, a lot of times it's being questioned. Are you from Pakistan? Are you from some other country? So there's a lot of issues going back and forth, and the government is doing their best to rectify the problems. As I understand it, it's primarily for safety of the country because they want to make sure their border is secured. They don't have somebody who's walking in from another state, another country, having terrorist activities and things like that. So they're going through that process. The process itself is very chaotic because you have almost 1.38 billion people there, and handing them one single paper is hard enough, and think about processing it through a computer system and getting that. So that's going on, and I urge you to look it up. If it's a fun thing to read. There's a lot of politics involved. In fact, the United States is being asked on a lot of opinions on this, and our Congress and our Senate has backed off of it because it's a very sensitive situation. State Department is backed up. They haven't said a single word about it. They're staying away from it. Thank you.
All wrong. China, please.
Taiwan.
I beg your pardon.
All right. We got the better part of the family. Yes.
So basically, my father is from Taiwan, and he came here to the U.S. when he was about 22 to pursue higher education for his master's degree. So he's lived here in the U.S. longer than he has in Taiwan, and then all the children were born here in the U.S. But we enjoy visiting Taiwan and some of the culture and traditions that are celebrated there. So we thought one of the best ways to share this share about Taiwan with all of y'all. Be showing this YouTube video about, and this is a vlog of someone actually, an American going to Taiwan during Christmas time.
I'm in the Taipei 101 mall here trying to find some signs of Christmas, but to be honest with you, it looks pretty grim. There's just not a lot of Christmas decorations. Christmas like in the mall here, just a few poinsettias around and some bare trees. I think going with this bare tree look this year. I don't know what's up with that. But just generally speaking, just around Taipei, I've just noticed a lack of Christmas decorations, kind of like what I've seen in the past. They have a huge Christmas display down in New Taipei at Ban Shop, but just around Taipei and Jinyi here, it doesn't seem like there's many decorations and things as there used to be, like even going back a couple of years. This is the 5th floor of the Taipei 101 shopping mall, and every year it seems they've got lots of big trees, decorations and everything. This year they've just got this kind of tree grove with no decorations. Very plain. This tea place has got some poinsettias outside. You see, there's a few poinsettias around. Some of the stores have displays. They have some Christmas lights framed around their doorways and that. But yeah, not like it has been in past years. I don't know what's going on. This is the extent of the Christmas decorations here in their big showcase area with all these massive luxury retailers with huge spaces. And this is all they've got. See, there's some poinsettias down below here. But I've seen years where they've had lights everywhere, trees decorated, very minimalist this year. music. You know, they play Christmas music everywhere here in Taipei and in Taiwan. Actually, they play Christmas music all year long in Taiwan. I'm not kidding. You walk through a shopping mall in the middle of August, and you'll hear, "We wish you a Merry Christmas." That nice. Taste of Christmas, what I could find here in Taipei, and you know, I mean, it sounds kind of cliche, but Christmas really is right here, and here. Merry Christmas from Taiwan.
Okay.
Well, thank you, Fred, Mark, Abraham, and Paul's daughter, for presenting you 4 exciting countries to Christmas. And just one clarification, when we were planning with Richard out these 4 or 5 different countries, we really thought we'd try to bring one single Christmas from China, Taiwan, Singapore, and Hong Kong. And what I really learned, it's my mistake, I might mention all, really the real celebration is really done in China and Taiwan than any of the other 3 places. So, yes, thank you very much for exciting presentation. One housekeeping, Steve Howell is here. He was missing in action earlier. Steve, and we didn't have the soft drinks and other goodies earlier, but he has come back and taken care of all that. Thank you, Steve. He got held up in the traffic. Now, before we adjourn and go to our dessert, Christmas dessert, just want you to know, we're going to have very exciting, very active next year. David, our program committee chair, is already working on having at least 10 exciting speakers. And I had a good 45 minutes, an hour with him today. He did an excellent job, and he's going to have so please plan on attending every meetings, and we're going to grow this club. While we're talking about that, I got an email from Galar. He already taken early lead. He's cleaning up the website and putting the new members. Bring your resumes of all the next committee chair. He's going to update it, and we're going to keep you all fully appraised through the website. Thank you. Yes, Wheel of Fortune, next, yes.
Okay. You want to do the candidates and the elected officials? Let's do that, and then we'll do the will.
Okay.
All right, let's have all the candidates and elected officials gather over here, come through, and you have 31 seconds to tell us why you're famous. Okay?
Ladies first.
Now, let's get this turned off. Spray it in front of them. Okay? Fred, come on over here. Come on over.
I told him he was infamous.
Yeah, but Jerry said I didn't need to come.
I said he was infamous.
Always
Well,
right.
what is that, okay?
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
All right. Hi, I'm Brooke Foltz. I apologize for my absence during the main part of the meeting. Neil and I were on a Lincoln Day Committee conference call getting Lincoln Day ready for February 15th. So I'm running for judge of the 401st District Court. I will be #1 on the ballot, so I'm very excited about that. And I'm just really looking forward to continuing to serve Collin County and serve the people and parties and families that are in front of our court. So Brooke Foltz for the 401st District Court. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Fred Moses from the Collin County College. Right now we have about 60,000 students in 35 years, so give yourself a hand, it's pretty extraordinary. And I noticed once, driving around Plano and Collin County, and as I look at the decals on the cars, there's so many cars, if you drive around, you're gonna notice that a lot of them have the Collin County logo on it. You know, we're not selling those, but there's actually people going to college there. So that's pretty extraordinary that we have all those people driving around with Collin County logo. So we're doing, you know, an extraordinary job, and thank you for your support of the college. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm not a candidate, but I'm here for David Bridges. Justice David Bridges is running for re-election. He's been on the Court of Appeals in Dallas for 20 years. He wanted to be here today. He's having some issues with his knees, though, and he's over in Fort Worth seeing a specialist. I think we all know that this last cycle, I think there were 33 or 34 contested Court of Appeals races, and the Democrats won all but one of those. This is a very important race coming up for David. He doesn't have a Republican opponent, but he does have a Democrat opponent. He's asking for your support in this upcoming election for the Dallas Court of Appeals 5th District.
Thank you, Randy.
Hello, folks. I'm Mike Vance, 35-year Texas lawman, also with Collin County Sheriff's Office. I'm running for Collin County Council Precinct 1. And I'm elected, I promise you, I will go to work every day during your tax time. Mike Vance, Collin County Council Precinct 1. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Darrell Hale. I'm your Collin County Commissioner for Precinct 3. I'm running for re-election this year. I've been recently endorsed by 2 statewide organizations, Texas Right to Life and Grassroots America, and also 2 local organizations, WPAC and US Impact. So I appreciate your vote. Come February 18th when early voting starts. Thank you. February 18th.
February 18th.
It's on a Tuesday this year because it's right after our holidays. So starting on a little bit of off day.
All right, Commissioner, thank you for your work.
Hi, I'm here speaking on behalf of Sammy Knapp. He is finishing up his 2nd term as constable for Collin County Precinct 3, and he is running for re-election for his 3rd term. So if you just remember to go to the bottom of the ballot and then vote for the constable. Thank you.
What's his name?
Sammy Knapp.
Okay.
Sammy Knapp for constable Precinct 3.
Thank you very much, Dick. All right, y'all ready for Will's Fortune? Everybody get their tickets out. And
Anybody missing a ticket?
everybody have a ticket. All right. You got my ticket? Okay. Hello, Joe, you got my ticket? Okay. You want me, Van? Come on up here.
Hey, Richard.
Everybody ready?
Hang on just a second.
Wait a minute.
We got somebody needs to take it.
Just a minute.
We will lead in.
Let's put the commissioner checking.
Hey, I'm an election judge. Like that.
Yeah, Hollywood, they'd be calling us. Ready.
Kind of toward the Capitol.
Let's see what's going on. And here he comes.
One more, I got a handout.
Now, save your ticket, don't discard it, because we have a special gift here.
There you go.
After we do our spin, we have a special present for somebody to win, okay? All right? Here comes Darrell with the bucket of tickets.
Leaning on the corner of the wall there. Yeah, he didn't get a ticket.
All right, give the bucket to this young lady here, Darrell.
If it comes out Cape Air, we'll know where that came from.
You don't want to know.
He said,
You don't want to know.
He said you should win, Ken.
8904 385.
385.
385.
385. All right, now let's spin this. Go ahead and give it a good spin.
Big money, big money.
All right.
Once you pass 30 seconds, it's all done.
Yeah, just a second.
That's right.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
Turn the wheel.
7. 7. And then 7. Turn around and look at what's number 7.
$50 gift certificate.
All right, $50 gift certificate. All right.
Not bad.
And then where's our treasurer? Where's Tim McCard? He's always eating by the table. Now we have
you to like give him.
Now we have a second prize. Let's grab this here. This was donated. And this is a holiday assortment. Okay, of goodies.
Wow.
Only thing missing is a bottle of bourbon. So we'll.
You're providing the bourbon, right?
Let's go and spin.
Hey, Richard, you're providing the bourbon,
No,
aren't
we
you?
don't have to. We don't have to spin it. We don't.
I think you have to provide the bourbon. Yeah, Richard's providing the bourbon.
Wild turkey.
That's good too.
Lastly, 415.
415.
415.
One of those last ones, because I got
415.
Right here, brother.
Oh, is there Johnny?
You know what? You can draw again.
Draw again?
Draw again.
You don't
No, I don't want the bourbon, of course. You can pass.
Let's go to the next number up.
One more.
Down.
Okay.
Okay, 412.
412.
412.
412.
There's no.
Some of us have 412.
What if she wins? That'd be great.
No.
412.
Nobody.
That's gotta be.
412.
You sure it's not 405?
All right, here we go. One more try.
All right, I guess I will take it.
Going for it. I'm just.
That's a nice basket, you know?
I know it is.
396.
396. 396. The young man. Okay. Now, good of our.
Let me actually give it to the outgoing president and the Mrs. You know, I wanted to give it to them for all the 2 years of work, to the president and, you know, we can give it to
Okay.
the outgoing president.
All right, good. All right. Well, thank you very much. Let's give it to my wife. Here. Okay.
Thanks for the bottle of bourbon.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Bourbon by himself.
Now let's do it, because on the good of the order, there's 3 things you ought to know. Mike Yarber had triple bypass surgery, all right? And he's doing well. He's home. He was in the hospital 3 days, if you can imagine that. And I talked to Nancy, and he's good very well. Now, Wayne Tucker, has anybody found out about Wayne Tucker? He was having an extensive test at the Veterans Hospital. Have you heard anything?
No.
Okay. And who's the third member we need to talk about on the, how's your health?
Me.
Yeah, how's your health?
Doing pretty good, actually. I was gonna get a third stent. They actually put me on the operating table, checked me out, and said I don't need it. So I didn't get a third stent. That's good.
That's terrible.
The only negative is I was gonna have my hip surgery like this week because the next 2 weeks were off. And I got a note from my doctor saying, hi, I ended my practice 2 months ago.
Oh, my.
So I'm hunting for a doctor, but I've got about 20 recommendations, thank you all. But I'm feeling great. I can stand to see unsupported. I'm feeling great, guys.
You're looking good.
I want to make an announcement when you have a chance.
Go ahead and make it.
All right, I'll make a quick announcement. Neil Katz, Executive Director of the party. One of the most common questions I get asked is Collin County turning blue? Is Collin County turning purple? And the last 6 months, I've been interviewed by the New York Times, CBS National News, and a whole bunch of news organizations. A couple of weeks ago, I did a podcast. If you've ever done a podcast, you put on your Monday Night Football announcer gear, you know, the big headphones, the microphone, and we had it over at Love and War. They did 10 minutes with Mike Rollins, the chairman of the Democrat Party out in Arlington. They did 10 minutes with me out in Love and War, and we gave our opinions on whether or not Texas is turning blue. The Democrat opinion was that the Republicans are complacent, the Republicans are not going to work, and since they got a 10-point surge with Beto 2 years ago, they're going to waltz right in. As Colonel Potter says, horse hockey on that one. As far as I'm concerned, we're going to have a great concerted effort with Victory. We're putting a great Victory team together. We got our executive director of Victory. We're going to move. The podcast that we had, which is 17 and a half minutes long, it's in the newsletter that's going out tomorrow. Click on the link, you'll hear the Democrat County Chairman, and then you'll hear me talk about the party and get a good education of the party and get both sides of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Neil. Thank you very much. Ravi, you want to close us out?
Well, this is just closed. We please stay here and enjoy some dessert and some soft drinks. And we'll see you first third Thursday in January.
See you next year.
See you next year. Thank you very much.